done. All right, Jerry, let's dive into recruiting a little bit. I got a couple of recruiting questions for you, but I know you want to dive into a couple of prospects potentially.
I got a recruiting question for you to start off with.
Let's start there then. Let's go. Let's go with your question, and then I'll dive into the other questions I have for you about the 2027 class.
So Rod and Bobby and I were talking after a show the other day, and Rod hadn't watched Landon Williams-Callis. So we got Rod to watch Landon Williams-Callis. And before we get to the update on him, Rod, I just want your thoughts on him because you've had one viewing now, and I think he's a one viewing player. So what were your thoughts on him?
It's one of the highlight reel. I mean, that junior season highlights is what? I don't know. Was it 20 minutes or something like that?
He probably cut it off after touchdown 57.
After a while, you just got to kind of cut it off. But what I like about him, and I'm coming as a defender, I would hate to have to go up against guys. And I remember guys like this, that low center of gravity. He's got a really low center of gravity. He's also built very compact as a player. That's also tough because not only is it tough to bring those guys to the ground, but low pad level wins. And that guy, he kind of just runs right through arm tackles because of his center of gravity. And he's got this it's a very unique combination of being running light on his feet with power. Yes. It's kind of tough to describe, but he's light on his feet. There's no doubt about that. But he still runs with power. Like he breaks tackles at the next level. He has really good contact balance. I mean, that's what I mean. And having that kind of center of gravity being, was he 5'8", something like that, 5'8", 190, a little over 190. That type of build, I can tell you just from experience going up against a couple of running backs I remember like that. I hate them because they also have the ability to hide behind blockers until they've already, been able to accelerate. And they do have it's very unique. I said not a lot of guys can do it because they're not built that way, but he'll almost hide behind blockers in certain run concepts. He's not trying to do it on purpose, but you can't see him as a defender. You're looking for him. And then by the time I remember, what's the guy from Griffin from Oklahoma was like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it. Sproles, Darren Sproles had some of that too, where by the time you got a line on him, it was already too late because those guys had already accelerated and you were still in your mode of trying to track that guy down and find out where they are. He's got that kind of as a defender, that kind of hidden ability, but he's got some elite traits. Like I said, the contact balance to me, and just his build, how compact he is, a low center of gravity, net pad level with that kind of acceleration, second level acceleration. It's just a really nasty combination, man. And I haven't seen much of him as a pass catcher, but I could imagine that as a pass catcher, he would be just as effective. And Sark is big on his running backs. Obviously, we're talking about him being one of the top prospects at the running back position for Texas. He likes them to be utilized in the passing game. But like I said, the light on his feet with power is weird, man. Like usually guys who run with that kind of power can break tackles. You don't see them as have the quick feet as he does. And I like his vision too. I think he's got really good vision to set up defenders on the
side. I agree, Rod. I think his vision is elite because, look, you don't run for that many yards without having elite vision and reactive quickness to what you see in your personal. I think that is, look, and we'll see where it ultimately goes for him, but name a great back or somebody who had a chance to be a great back that didn't have elite vision. You can't really do it. I mean, because that is almost, it's like an instinct for a linebacker. It's instinct and vision for a running back, right? I mean, and he is just, it's been interesting to see when you see him in person too, Rod. I would say maybe a shade under 5'8", about 197, 198. He is frame-wise very similar to Maurice Jones-Drew. Now, they have a little different style of back, though. No two guys are ever truly the same and look the same. If you went back and look at Maurice Jones-Drew's high school highlights, it's not going to look exactly like this. They have the same frame or very similar frame. But Maurice Jones-Drew could really run the ball inside for his size. But I think it's the vision, man. And the other thing, Rod, is it's toughness because he carried the ball a lot. And he's
Yeah.
out there taking hits and accepting
Mhm.
contact and initiating contact at times. Now, any great running back is going to run the space like this. If you see space, you're going to run to it. It's not like you're going to go hunt contact when you have a clean lane. But I think that's the other thing with him. And then what's interesting is I talked to I was at Fort Bend Austin High School to see a kid Texas was recruiting, and I asked the coach because he coached against Jaquiz Rogers, who is his uncle,
Yeah.
or a cousin or uncle. And I said, how similar are they? And he said, this guy is Jaquiz Rogers with 25 pounds on him.
Mm.
And just so he has more inside ability. Jaquiz was darting. Like, he just make people miss. Like, he'd make 7 or 8 moves right there if he had to. He was a high school version of like Barry Sanders in the pros, not the Barry Sanders from Oklahoma State, but the one that had to play in Detroit. But Landon Williams-Callis, tremendous prospect. And now to the recruiting part of that. Look, we haven't heard anything different. We've heard that Texas is in a favorable position. We've heard a decision is expected in the first half of July. I don't think it'll just be an edit and that's it. I think this will be an announcement, probably at a restaurant or something in the area where he lives. I think this is going to be, he's a hometown hero. Hometown heroes don't commit with an edit. Like, this will be a big deal. You'll have Vipe Houston, you'll have local news. Everybody will be at this whenever he makes his decision, announces his decision. But we continue to hear that Texas is in a pretty good spot. And the biggest thing right now for us covering it is we're not sure if it's SMU or if it's A&M that is behind Texas right now. So, and look, things can change. This is recruiting. But I think there's a reason for Texas to feel pretty positive right now.
Yeah, no, it's a lot to like about this young man's game. I think he's got some like pace and patience to his game too. Like, usually guys who are that explosive, they're kind of quick to hit the hole, sometimes not even letting the blockers develop, but he's got some pace and patience as he is setting up or allowing his blockers to develop and set up. So I'm in.
There's one similarity to him and Jermaine Bishop. Confidence. Look, when you're around, like, you can go back in archives for the people in the chat here, an interview I did with him in the spring that producer Matt published on the site. He is extremely confident. And you would say, well, he should be. Yeah, but it's not false confidence. It's real confidence, if you know what I mean, if you've been around a lot of guys like that. Jermaine Bishop has that confidence level. I think Landon Williams-Callis has that exact same confidence in himself level. And you would have to, because he's always been told he's too small. He's always told he wasn't big enough. Everybody's questioned him all along the way outside of people who've played against him in his district. And so you got to have real confidence to be Landon Williams-Callis, and he does.
And he's out of so is it the level of competition he's going up against is
5A? 5A, really good. Won a state title, played for a state title, plays against high level competition, and he delivers. I mean, that's the thing is he delivers when it counts, and that is a big part of, I think, of who makes him, who he is. And everybody's like, well, Jonathan Gray had great, and this is different. Jonathan Gray had a lot of run to daylight at Aledo. They were such a powerhouse of a football team. These are two totally different types of guys. Now, Jonathan Gray had both shoulders cut on before he ever took a carry in college. So he came into college with injuries. These are two totally different types of runners. And if you look at the way Landon Williams-Callis makes more than half his yards, it's not run to daylight. He's creating yards with his vision and his speed and his quickness and his patience, as you say, and his little compact power he's got. So I think he's a complete back, man. And look, he's a tough kid too, so he's going to be willing in pass protection. And by the way, probably is going to be sneaky good pass protector at the next level because he's so low, Rod. He can take your legs out.
He just low to the ground. Low pad level wins. He's got that.
Any linebacker running through and they see him pass pro, and you better get low because he'll just take your legs out.
Yeah. Or you better even try it. Maybe you can go Superman over him.
You have to go Superman.
Yeah, that's at your own risk. But no, it's interesting we brought up the Jermaine Bishop thing because when you see players that are so prolific, right? He's got stats. I mean, they're just mind-boggling, kind of eye-popping stats and highlights. Jermaine Bishop I forgot his highlight film is what? It's like he's got a 8 to 12 minute
18 minutes or something.
Yeah, you gotta wait. Are they going against the high level competition? And it's good to know that these highlights, the way they look, sometimes you wonder, like, man, who's the competition like? It's like, no, this young man's going against 5A high level competition playoffs, like you said, made a championship run there. So it's proven. Like it's not only is he prolific, but he's done it against a high level competition. So I'm a believer. All it takes is, like I said, about 5 minutes of watching him, and you become a fan.
Yeah.
All right. We got some super chats. We'll get to those. Let's thank our lead sponsor really quickly. Let's thank our friends over at Garage Beer. We appreciate our friends over at Garage Beer, and you will as well. It is Friday. The garage is always open, especially on a Friday to get the weekend started. No better way to do that with our friends over at Garage Beer. They're not trying to impress you with the fancy ingredients. They're not trying to impress you with the, their long tradition, rich history, anything like that. They understand that all you care about is that it's a light beer, which it is. It's 95 calories, and that it tastes great, which I can vouch. It does taste great, crisp, refreshing, beer-flavored beers, they call it, but it is fantastic tasting light beer. One of my favorite light beers out there, and you can find it anywhere now. It used to be kind of a hidden secret out there, one of the best kept secrets about Garage Beer, but now wherever you do your grocery shopping, wherever you find your favorite light beers, wherever you get your spirits and your alcohol, you probably can find our friends over at Garage Beer. So ask about it. But the good word is getting out about Garage Beer. The garage is always open. Beer-flavored beer at Garage Beer. Also, while we're thanking sponsors, let's thank our friends over at Prize Picks. Let's thank them as well. We appreciate our friends at Prize Picks. They do a great job, folks, of just, making sure that your sports viewing, sports watching experience is just that much better, no matter what you're into. Maybe you're into the World Cup. Matter of fact, a lot of folks are into the World Cup. You should be. But maybe for you, it's baseball. It could be basketball. It could be esports, whatever you have an interest in. Our friends over at Prize Picks, they have it available for you, and it's so easy. Like you can just pick it in minutes. Every at bat matters, every possession matters, and you're just picking more or less on player stats. It's so simple. Anybody can really do it, whether you have a thorough knowledge of the sport you're picking, or if you just have a kind of very shallow knowledge of the sport you're picking. It still makes it more fun, and also you can mix and match. You can pick basketball, mix and match that with baseball, golf, soccer, MMA, even esports if that's your thing. And right now it's a great time to do it. It's available in all 50 states, including right here in the great state of Texas. So if you haven't jumped in yet, now's a great time to do it. Download the app, use the code HMA. You play $5, and they're going to give you $50 in lineups instantly. The code is HMA. 5 gets you 50. It's just that simple. And as always, you play smart, play responsibly, play Prize Picks. Thank you very much to our friends over at Prize Picks for sponsoring our Friday live stream. All right, we got some super chats. They always jump to the front of the line. Thank you, Juan. Thank you very much for the super chat. Good to hear from you. Hope you're having a great start to your July 4th weekend. By the way, about to get happy July 4th, everybody out there. Is Sark building this teams like his teams at USC? Pretty similar. Interesting.
I'd have to go back and look at his USC. If you're talking about the Pete Carroll teams, they like bigger receivers at that time at USC.
Yep. Yeah, that was in.
They like the Thunder and Lightning at running back.
Mm-hmm.
They had true mean guys on the offensive line. That's the one area. I'm like, those American Samoan guys were physical dudes on that USC offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
They had 3 Casey Studders with bigger frames. Maybe better athletically a little bit, bigger frame. Yeah. I mean, that's what we're talking about. They had 3 real a-holes out there just wailing on people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Rod. I'm not sure. I'd have to really go back and dig on that.
Yeah, I'd have to study it. And like I said, are you talking? Obviously, probably talking about the championship teams that he participated in as a assistant coach. I got to go study it to see. I mean, maybe there are some similarities to it, but I wouldn't know. Like I said, I think I got to go study that. That would be interesting. I think he's building this offense kind of in a modern way. Like the quarterback alone is different, right? Sark hasn't had a lot of quarterbacks that are mobile quarterbacks. I think now he's embracing what is an inevitability at the quarterback position, that you have to have functional mobility. That's just like the basic, your kind of basic trait of mobility as a quarterback. You got to have functional mobility. But I think he's embracing now quarterbacks that can have escapability, sack avoidance, and also have the ability to scramble, which I think is the best cheat code in football. Now, he doesn't want to scramble first guys. He doesn't want guys to make one read downfield and then decide to run. He does want guys that they're going to extend the play so they can throw. But I think what's changed the most for Sark in that time at USC and now his time at Texas, even his time there with Alabama, probably. I don't know how much he was involved in being able to pick every quarterback, because obviously Nick Saban was the head coach. But I think his vision for the quarterback position and maybe his evaluation of it has changed a little bit, looking at the quarterbacks he has now compared to the quarterbacks he had back then.
And I'm not comparing them as players. I will be interested to see from an NFL combine, assuming Arch takes part in that, because I think Arch is way better in the passing game. How similar Arch tests to Jake Locker athletically.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I mean, and I just wonder about that, because to your point, that's the most athletic guy that Sark has had.
Yep.
And to your point at USC, I mean, it was drop back guys. I mean, that's what the state of California trains, is a drop back quarterback, especially during that time. And that's what the USC system was built on. You talking about that, and you're 100% right. Maybe think of, okay, the one guy he's had that was an athlete, a really plus athlete, was Locker.
Okay.
So Locker, I'm going to be interested to see how, and again, I think Arch is way better a prospect. But Locker went 8th in the draft.
First round, I was about to say.
He went top 10. I mean, he went top 10 after coming off a bad senior season. He ran 4.58, 4.12 shuttle, and a 6.77 L cone. What the hell? Back then, before you really trained for it.
He's athletic.
That dude was athletic in his change of direction, but he's shorter than Arch, 6'2.5", but 231. I mean, 9 5/8 inch hands. That's shaking Arch's hand. I think Arch is going to be a 10+ hand size guy, but it's going to be crazy just from a 40 L cone, 20 vertical. This kid vertical 35, 10 foot broad. I think Arch is a really good athlete. I wonder if he can touch those change of direction numbers. Those are ridiculous.
Yeah, that is. I didn't know he was that athletic. I remember him being drafted high, though. I do remember that. I remember them talking about him as a dual threat, kind of the dual threat developmental guy at the next level.
Yeah.
But to your point about the offensive line, I also think Sark is shifting his mindset a little bit on the O-line, looking at more athleticism. Still wants the size, but more athleticism. And to Jerry's point, I don't know if he's got maulers like he did at USC on the O-line. He doesn't have, though. Maybe this year you have but I don't even need – these guys don't seem like maulers to me. They're more – kind of close to Sark's finesse O-line.
And I think that was a different scheme. That was a different run scheme.
A great point. Yeah, you had a big back in Lindale White. You had big backs. So you didn't have issues in the red zone or short yardage. Well, against Texas you did, but you get to for the most part, that's one of Sark's issues here, because he's got a finesse O-line. So he struggled in power situations, short yardage, goal line, stuff like that. So USC, I doubt very seriously they ever struggled with stuff like that.
Nah.
So that's a good question. Juan, I'm going to study that. I love that question, though. That's great stuff for football theory. We'll look into it. Cisco with a super chat. Thank you, Cisco. We appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. It says, when is SEC Media Days, and who do you think may be going with Sark? It's July 20th through the
20th through 23rd. Sark speaks on the last day, the 23rd. Look, the SEC likes for the stars to come out for this. This isn't one where you can send in player X, Y, and Z. They're saying no. We want A, B, and C. Okay, this is a big production on SEC Network and ESPN. I think Arch. I think Colin Simmons. Maybe Trevor Gooseby.
Yep.
If
Star
they take
power.
3 guys, I could see that being the 3. I mean, Goosby's great in front of the media from a team standpoint. You know, he is just that guy.
He is good.
But you got to have Arch and Colin there. I mean, they're first team all SEC preseason. Gooseby is too. I'm guessing the SEC like, why don't we pick these for you this year?
I could see that. Yeah.
Because I mean, last year when we were there, it was, you know, some are obvious. Vanderbilt's going to send Diego Pavia, but it was big name guys. Now it was all your top players at that for the schools. So Texas has way too much star power for the SEC and Sark in Texas not to have a conversation and say we need the star power here.
Yeah. Is it always 3? Is it 3 or do they have a limit on it?
I think a lot of times it's 3, but sometimes some people might.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's been 4 in the past. I think it's 3.
It's 3. Okay. Yeah, those are the 3. I mean, that's your obvious big 3. If there could be a 4th, I mean, you can throw in a Cam Coleman or something like that if you want to for a 4th, but I'm with Jerry. And by the way, Sark has never tried to make a statement with stuff like that. I think Sark understands the entertainment value of and the brand of Texas. So I think Sark is like, of course, we'll give you the star power that you want at SEC Media Days. All right. It's good stuff. Actually, looking forward to it because there hasn't been a lot of Arch talk this offseason. That's and I don't accept the best theory we got about why Sark may have been so outspoken this upcoming offseason was a great theory by one of the members of the OTF fam was that, hey, I need to take the spotlight off of Arch this offseason because last offseason it was all Arch all the time, and it didn't help the start to his career there at Texas. And this has been a relatively quiet offseason talking Arch. I mean, you've had here and there, but for the most part, it's been more talk about
here's the question, Rod. Is there a little Arch fatigue in the media right now, or are they saving it all up leading up to Ohio State again?
Saving it.
That's what I think too.
They're saving it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
They're saving it. Because I will say this, and I said this yesterday, the offseason for college football is starting to shrink a little bit because college football is becoming more of a year-round sport. Not totally like the NFL yet, but with the transfer portal now, and then they got random drama happening. Texas Tech probably helped a lot of that. But sure. You've shrunk the offseason a little bit. So I agree. I think they're kind of saving it for all the Arch articles and all the hot takes about Arch. I think you're saving most of that as you get closer and closer to the football season. So I think it's coming. They got nothing juicy on Arch. He gives them nothing to work with. He was true, but he didn't give them anything last year either. But they had, I guess, that was hype because we didn't know what he was going to look like as a starter. But you're right. He is not seeking the spotlight. None of that is him.
Well, Rod, you made a great point, though. A great point. Sorsby Tech saga took away probably a lot of articles that were going to be written about other players in college football.
This is fair. Yeah.
I think that's a great point. I mean, no matter what you think of it, Texas Tech stole the media spotlight in a big way.
Yeah.
Because it was so controversial.
Yep.
So, and the price tag of the portal, his price tag in the portal was a known thing. That and just how big of a deal that was, and Tech was fighting to get that guy eligible when now the NFL and the CFL said no thanks. I mean, it's like it took all the oxygen out of the room for other players in college football, unless you did something bad.
Mm-hmm. Santos, Jerry, can you go to Big 12 Media Days just to give Joey McGuire a piece of your mind?
Let's see when the date of that is, because I would have been coaching school. Coaching school is in Houston.
That's right.
But I'm going to be obviously in Tampa for SEC Media Days. I'll be flying out, I think, the day that Joey speaks.
Oh. Did you Big 12 for me? Oh, okay. Hey, coming up. All right. I will say Sark kind of squashed it because he said him and Joey have communicated.
Yeah.
I forgot what interview that was recently, where he's like, yeah, we texted about it, blah, blah, blah. So they have interviewed, so it won't be as much drama when they sit him down. and ask each of them to go over their version of how things went down. They probably still should do it, but now it'll be more lighthearted because they'll just be kind of talking each other and giving each other kind of a hard time, but doing it in a joking manner.
Hey, Rod, we got to bring something up because something very outlandish was said today.
Uh-oh. Who said
Bryce Underwood. Did you hear about this? Producer Matt, can you look up Bryce Underwood?
Did not. What? It did not hit my timeline. I didn't get it on my timeline.
I call him back foot Bryce until he starts transferring his weight more consistently and stops throwing off his back foot under pressure. He pretty much said that he's going to be the best player to come out of Michigan. I was like, I mean, maybe he's young. Maybe he hasn't heard of Charles Woodson.
I didn't even see this.
I'm like, dude, you threw off your back foot 80% of the time in the Citrus Bowl. Like, you got a long way to go, man.
Hey, man, don't you like the confidence, though, Jerry? Don't you like the confidence?
Sure. If I got to play him, I do.
Oh, man.
Desmond Howard. Tom Brady.
Wow. I didn't see this. This is the first time I've seen it. But he obviously has asked me if he's ever studied the history of Michigan football.
Well, he says it's actually from the state of Michigan, maybe. It's still done. It's still done.
Yeah, that's still pretty.
It's still ridiculous.
Still, that's a lot of great players that came out of Michigan.
Come on, man.
I mean, half the great players that went to Michigan came out of Michigan.
Come on.
I know Tom Brady's from Cali. Isn't Charles Wilson from is he from Ohio?
I think he is, yeah.
I think he randomly is from Ohio, which is kind of strange too. But I don't know. All right. Okay, maybe I gotta do more research. I have not done research on the best players to come out of Michigan. So
okay. Well, I mean,
maybe he knows something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he does. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna go with no.
I'm gonna say there's definitely maybe he's in the top 5.
I think he's the highest paid ever. Maybe he was talking about that.
I don't know what he's talking about. He can't be talking about Michigan football, the college football program. There's no way he's talking about that.
Jerome Bettis came out of Michigan.
That's true.
Andre Rison, Tyrone Wheatley, Lamar Woodley, Charles Rogers, T.J. Duckett, Mark Ingram. I can go ahead and locker him, but I won't. We'll let him put himself in the locker on this one.
Oh,
Jake Long.
Oh, Jake Long, yeah.
John Runyon. I mean, it's like yeah.
He's confident. He's confident.
He needs to do his Tony Dungy. He needs to do his homework.
He does need to do his homework. You probably don't need to say that from a football state ever, really.
No,
I mean, you're from a football state like Michigan, Ohio, Texas, Antonio, Florida, California. You probably don't even need to say that because there's so many all-time great players from states like that. Don't even go there. Or if he's talking about the program, like we said, that's also absurd.
That's even more absurd.
That is even more absurd.
But
he's
literally saying he's the best high school prospect. If this is what it is out of the state of Michigan, I just named off how many Hall of Famers with gold jackets?
4 or 5 or something.
But yes, I love the confidence. But I'm going to call him back foot Bryce until he proves otherwise.
Back foot Bryce. Oh man, and they got didn't they lose their OC? Didn't they change their OC? I want to say their OC's at Missouri now. I mean, did I get that wrong? I believe I might. Maybe I believe there was an exchange of an offensive play calling coach. Is it Chip?
Oh man, look,
Chip.
Coach Steve Sarcasm, great line. Even the great Michigander Stevie Wonder can see through that. Absolutely.
Oh man,
Steve would give you this, Bryce. This, no, not happening.
Oh yeah, I was right. The Michigan OC in 2025 is now the Missouri OC.
Yeah.
So, actually, Texas will have some familiarity.
This is another great point. Seth CP. Connor Stallions is better than Bryce Underwood. He did more. He's done more for Michigan.
Now that is true. That's a legend. Damn it.
Connor Stallions won him a national championship. Bryce, backfoot Bryce. You got a long way to go.
How do Michigan fans feel about Connor Stallions? Is he celebrated? by Michigan fans, or do they like try to
Probably not
denounce?
publicly, but when they're water cooler talking, they probably love it.
Okay, yeah, all right, exactly. I was like, how you gonna hate on it? All right,
Okay. Maybe Bryce is suffering from the heat spell up there. It's pretty hot up in Michigan right now. Maybe it's getting to him. Maybe he said that after a run and he was really tired.
He's gonna have to explain that though.
Yeah,
Wonder more accurate too. I
probably.
love it. Rocky P with a super chat. Thank you, Rocky P. This is for you, Jerry. Says Jerry, what do you mean when you say players +3 or +4 wingspan? Happy 4th, everyone. Stay safe and have fun. Happy 4th as well to you, Rocky P. Thank you very much for the super chat.
So, and I think Rocky, I was talking about that in a basketball article about the team on OTF, and mentioned it obviously on football recruits too. But your height is your neutral, right? So neutral arm length to your height is not a good thing if you're neutral. You want to be plus.
Yeah.
And the more plus at certain position, basketball guys are even more plus. So what I was referencing, if Rocky's talking about the basketball article, was Isaiah Johnson, the lead guard who came to Texas. He's grown from 6'1" to about 6'2", so let's say 6'1.5". When he visited Texas, he was a +6 wingspan, incredibly long arms.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you start getting in that +6, +7 range, that's elite. So he was +6. I put that in an article. Austin Gooseby is either +3 or +4. Amari Evans, who's 6'5", is a +5, so he has a 6'10", essentially, wingspan on him. So that's where it is. It's from your neutral +1, +2, +3, +4, +5. So like Amari Evans, when people see Amari Evans play for Texas basketball, he's 6'5" with a +5 wing. Like he's got long arms and broad shoulders. So it's not arm length, it's wingspan. So it's tip to tip, and your shoulder, how broad your shoulders are, factors into that wingspan. That's why for defensive linemen in football, they love the wingspan measurement. For offensive linemen, they love the arm length measurement because it's your reach to the defender more so than your wingspan across, because you could have broad shoulders and short arms, and it doesn't do you any good getting into a defensive lineman's chest.
Oh, good stuff. Actually, nice explanation. I didn't realize that was kind of what he meant too. So I like that. All right, thank you, Rocky P. Appreciate the question. All right, we got a couple more questions here. We're just kind of go through these a little bit rapid fire before we get to the end of our live stream today. How about this one from NIL Rev Share? Kamara Sales and Williams-Callis.
Yeah,
you want all of them? Do you want all of them?
I mean, good. You got to be greedy. So. Look, we went over Williams-Callis. Kamara, we still feel good about Texas. We always wait to see let these guys announce their actual decision. We feel good about that. I don't think his decision's that far off potentially. So we'll see on Kamara.
Yeah.
We've heard that could be in a matter of a couple, 3 days. I mean, you just don't know. I'm not locking that in because you got to let the kids announce when their announcement or commitment is going to be. And then they got to follow through on that with no delays and nothing changing. So much is fluid. Monson Sales, I mean, there's more and more behind the scenes talk that this may be Indiana, Texas. Now, do I 100% go with that? Not yet. No. I think LSU's in the fight. I think Ohio State's in the fight. I do think Bama's faded. Been wrong before. But I do, we've heard twice now that this may be trending towards Indiana, Texas. And I think Indiana's the favorite until they're not. That's what I would say. Like they're going to be considered the favorite until they're absolutely not. So we feel good about Texas with Kamara and Landon Williams-Callis. Sales is more of a wait and see, but you got to go with Indiana until he actually says something different, because there's too much chatter behind the scenes for too long on it.
I mean, he's from Indianapolis, right?
And yeah, he's grew up in Bama. He's from Bama, but I don't think that's where he's going to go. I think he goes to Lawrence North in Indianapolis. And obviously Indiana has a lot of momentum in their home state.
Exactly. Yeah. Mark Cuban.
He's probably the first. He's probably the first, by the way. We talk about all the pressure Easton Royal's under, and it's nothing like that in Indianapolis, but he's probably the first football prospect in a while to have pressure to go to Indiana by his home state people, because there was no pressure to go to Indiana before 2 years ago. None.
That's a great
People
point,
have
though.
told you don't want to go to Indiana.
Yeah.
He's probably the first guy getting a little pressure to actually stay home and go to Indiana.
Because they hadn't had this kind of clout. I mean,
No.
before winning the national title. I agree with you, and that's a good point. All right, thanks for that. All right, before we get to a couple more questions to end things, let's thank our sponsors one more time. Jerry, would you do us a favor and give us a word from our friends over at Zen AI?
Yeah, this summer, don't just watch the game. You got to vibecast it. Zen AI is the home of vibecasting, a new way to capture and share real sports conversations. No studio, no fancy gear. Your phone is the whole setup. Arguing about who should have taken the last shot, breaking down every play. Hit record, talk about it, and Zen AI turns that convo into a sportscast. You can share clips, reels, and even TikToks. An AI producer works behind the scenes, cleaning up audio, cutting highlights, and helping you tweak edits just by chatting in plain English. Go live while the game is on or record your hot takes after. Maybe this was Bryce Underwood's first Zen AI appearance. Bring your own co-host or find another fan in Zen AI's network. This summer, Zen AI is paying new Vibecasters to launch their first sportscast. Humans are the talent. AI is the infrastructure. Zen AI is invite only. Head to zen.ai to join the waitlist. That's zen.ai or tap the link in our show notes.
All right. Thank you very much, Jerry. Thank you to Zen AI. Also, thank you to Garage Beer one more time. Beer flavored beer, but I can vouch for it. It is also fantastic. It's one of my favorite light beers now. Only 95 calories, crisp, refreshing. Also comes in traditional, but also comes in lime flavor as well. Matter of fact, I got the traditional right here in my little mini fridge here in the office. But the lime is really, really good too. They have a great saying that the garage is always open, especially on the weekends. They call it beer flavored beer. Not trying to impress you with any of the fancy brewing techniques or their rich history or anything like that. They understand all you care about is that it's great tasting, which it is, and it's only 95 calories, crisp and refreshing. That's Garage Beer. The garage is always open. Thank you very much to our friends at Garage Beer. All right, a couple of more questions before we get to the end of our live stream. How about this one from Yes OU Sucks? Says, hey, Jerry, do you think SMU Boulevard Collective really believes they can compete with Texas alumni money? Thank you.
I think they believe they can, and I don't doubt they actually can on a 2 or 3 select prospect.
Yep.
I actually do think they can. Football or basketball. I think they have the juice to compete for select guys. My whole deal with SMU and Landon Williams-Callis, and I'll come on here and say I'm wrong if I'm wrong on this. I don't think that kid grew up dreaming of wearing an SMU uniform. That's still the biggest fight an SMU has in a battle with a SEC Power or a University of Texas. Doesn't mean you can't win a recruitment. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying for these upper echelon guys, Rod, I mean, I know SMU was coming off bad stuff when you're coming out of high school. Nobody really dreams about wearing an SMU uniform.
Nope. No, yeah, you're right about that. And I like the coach too. I like Red.
Yeah, I love Rhett Lashley. I know Rhett. Yep. He's a great dude.
He's one of the best offensive minds, I think, in college football too.
And
they do have money. I'm with you. Remember they forgoed like $200 million in TV revenue to join the ACC. Remember they raised like $100 million in like a week because they got some alumni with some bread and some deep pockets. So I don't know. Yeah, so I'm with Jerry. I think they pick out their 3-4 guys. They can throw money at those guys and compete with Texas NIL-wise for just a few guys that they like. But the sales pitch for guys like Landon Williams-Callis has got to be, it's going to be more broad than just the NIL because everybody's pretty much going to be close on that, I imagine.
Yeah, I think so. And look, I think the thing with I know what SMU's sales tag is on this, right? Not sales tag. What their recruiting pitch is on this.
The value.
Yeah. No, the recruiting pitch is you come in and you're the man from day one.
Oh, for SMU?
Yeah.
That's a strong recruiting pitch in that offense. It's a sexy offense.
Yeah. I think, though, the problem a little bit with that, it'll be interesting to see when Landon Williams-Callis talks after he announces his decision, if it's not SMU, and we do think Texas is the favorite, is running backs nowadays don't want to go somewhere and take 30 carries in college.
That is true.
So I think that recruiting pitch has a little bit of an issue when your advisors in your recruitment are NFL players and one Jaquiz Rogers.
Great point.
They aren't thinking. They probably aren't like, hey, let's go send a nephew to a school where he's going to carry it 30 times and get to bang the whole game his freshman season. Everybody's thinking NFL, thinking pro.
Agreed.
So, not saying SMU can't compete and be in it, because we've heard that may be the number 2 team right now. Who knows? A&M obviously is trying hard, but I think if Landon Williams-Callis ends up at Texas, he's bucking all the things that SMU was trying to recruit him as.
I like that. Yeah, because Sark, their pitch is kind of like, hey, you're going to share this load, you're going to showcase your skill, and then go to the next level. That's kind of their sales pitch, because he always has wanted a kind of committee, not a committee, a true committee, but he's at least wanted 2 backs in the backfield since Rojo and Bijan, 2 capable ones to share the load. All right, before we get out of here, super chat. Killer 1021. Thank you for the super chat. We really appreciate it. Says Jerry, something you keep saying is wait till pen hits the paper. Yesterday confirmed with Dobson that committed to South Carolina, comments directly after saying, quote, it's still a long way till signing day.
Yeah, Dobson's going to be one of those interesting recruits now that he went to South Carolina. And obviously Texas fans probably won't pay much attention to it, but he committed to a coach that's on the hot seat. He got a great NIL deal from all reports, but he committed to somebody on the hot seat. And I think that's probably why he said it's a long way till signing day. I think South Carolina, he had the best NIL deal. It's close to home for him. He can go in and be CB1 or at worst CB2. But are they going to go through a coaching change?
That's a great point. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. I would not do that if I was a player. But now the transfer portal guys, they don't care about that. You can just leave. Just go do what you want to do. All right. Okay. Last question here. Thank you for that super chat. The last question here, because I like this one. Taylor, thank you for the question. Because I was watching some games from last season. I noticed the lack of explosive runs, especially from the running backs. How much will explosive runs open up the rest of the offense next year? Great question. And I do think it'll open the offense up tremendously. Because your most explosive runner last year, and I tell people this, and they think I'm being hyperbolic, but I'm not. I got the stats to prove it. Arch led the team in 10-plus yard runs, 20-plus yard runs, 30-plus yard runs. He was tied for the leading 30-plus yard runs and tied for leading 40-plus yard runs, 50-plus yard runs, and 60-plus yard runs. It was Arch. He was your most explosive runner last year. It was not a running back. So you didn't really have that element at all last year.
Yeah, so Rod, I want to ask you this, because there's 2 different types of explosive runs. No, somebody's going to make a joke. Leave the joke part out. But that would be funny. You have the guy who makes people miss and creates it on his own.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have your blocked runs that turn into explosive runs.
Yep.
Texas running backs on the roster, I think there's one guy in Relique Brown who can make an explosive on his own. I still think with a Hollywood Smothers or Derek Cooper, or even if James Simon's in the game, those are blocked explosive runs.
Mm-hmm.
So how many if Texas has a number of explosive runs from the running back position this year, probably means the offensive line was pretty effective.
Great. Bijan and Jaden Blue oftentimes would.
Yes.
I remember, and Rojo was actually better at it too, because Rojo would do it more through power and just break tackles, but Bijan literally would just make like 2 guys miss, and then it was blocked decently. It got him, I think, like 3 or 4 yards well blocked, and he would turn it into a 14, 15-yard game.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that. I'll give you a stat about Relique Brown and Smothers before we get out of here. So I went and looked it up. I looked up explosive runs, and I guess I did this for you, Taylor. Relique Brown, he tied for top 5 in 20-plus, 40-plus, 50-plus, 60-plus, and 70-plus yard runs. Hollywood Smothers, he was tied for top 5 in 30, 40, 50 plus yard runs.
Mm-hmm.
He was tied for 12th in 15 plus yard runs. Relique Brown was in the top 10 and tied for 10th in 15+ yard runs. So you're getting a huge upgrade in explosivity in the backfield. Nothing against Trey Wisner and the guys last season. They didn't have it. It was the least explosive backfield Sark probably has had in a long time.
And I would say this, I would add to the explosive runs, chat, because it is funny. You're going to get more explosives in the pass game from running backs.
Yes. Agreed.
That's going to be part of it. So I think it's going to be more than the runs. It's also going to be the pass catching.
And to Jerry's point about making your own explosive runs, Raleek Brown, Hollywood Smothers, the only running back duo I could find with both running backs having had at least 600 yards after contact last year on the ground, at least 49 forced missed tackles on the ground, and at least 9 or more 20+ yard runs on the ground. The only combo I could find doing the research. So they are an explosive duo, maybe in the conversation for the most explosive running back duo in the country. All right. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the questions. Great stuff, Jerry. Thank you to Matthew behind the scenes. He's the real MVP. We'll be back, of course, on Sunday. Actually, we'll be back, Jerry and I. We're back for our Sunday night live stream. But in the meantime, you guys have a great 4th of July. Please, everybody be safe out there. And God bless America. For Jerry and for Matthew, I'm Lifetime Longhorn Ride Babers. Until next time, Hook 'em horns.